You are listening to Book Clips, a podcast where authors and narrators expose you to excerpts from different books. You can find the show and more by searching for The Lesbian Talk Show on iTunes, Podbean, or Stitcher.
Jenny Frame, reading from Royal Rebel. Chapter 9. Since the day they'd nearly kissed at Lex's house, Rosa had noticed that as much as they were becoming friends, Lex always kept a distance between them. Whenever Rosa would try to get closer or touch Lex innocently, she pulled away and found an excuse to put distance between them. Rosa was quite certain they were attracted to each other, but why Lex didn't want to show it, she had no idea. Whether Rosa was ready to move on was another matter. The strange thing was, many weeks into her job at Timmy's, Rosa still didn't know anything about Lex's love life. But Lex and the rest of the newsreading world knew all about hers. Lex had given her the task of monitoring the charity's social media, and she was working on her super secret project. She had used all of her contacts with the rich and famous to raise some much needed money. Plus, she had organised a party at a top London club where there would be a dinner and charity auction for all her VIP friends. She nearly had everything she needed to present Lex with a portfolio of donors, donations and party details. She was just waiting on one more donor getting back in touch, a big media mogul, to complete her plan. Rosa rechecked her figures on the computer screen and rubbed her hands together with excitement. I can't wait to see Lex's face. She's going to be so happy with me. The satisfaction of doing good for others was exhilarating, and something she wanted to continue on with. Maybe I can get involved with some Denberg charities when I get home. Gussie would like that. Rosa looked at the time. 3:30. Lex had been out at a meeting for the afternoon, and the time seemed to drag without her there. She was just about to go and seek out Conrad's company when Lex came in the door. Her heart soared and she rose to her feet to go and meet Lex as she struggled with a tray of hot drinks, her briefcase and some packages. I thought I'd bring in coffee, Lex said, handing the tray of drinks to Rosa while putting her packages in case on the desk. Yours is on the left. Great, I could do with a pick-me-up. Rosa looked at the takeaway cup and it was marked as mocha, extra shot with a dash of hazelnut and chocolate shavings. You remembered! Lex's smile gave Rosa the urge to kiss her and run her hands through Lex's short hair. Of course I remembered, Princess. I listen to everything you say. Rosa gulped hard and tried to think of something to say that didn't involve kiss me or touch me, but she was at a loss. No one had ever listened to her like Lex did. She was usually someone to be placated or kept happy or out of trouble, but never listened to. Did you have a fun meeting? Rosa managed to say. Planning and building meetings are never fun. How about you? It's been fun doing the social media output, and I was working on my super secret project. Great, I can't wait to hear all about it. Oh, Lex picked up one of the bags she had brought and handed it to her. I was looking for a taxi and I walked past this little exclusive-looking chocolatiers, so I went in and got you something. Rosa put down her coffee and gingerly took the iconic gold and black bag from a famous London haute chocolatier. She couldn't quite believe Lex had done something so sweet. You bought them for me? Lex hung her suit jacket over her chair and came to lean in the front of the desk. Of course, you love chocolate. Open them then. Rosa slid out a silver box tied with a ribbon. The chocolates were packaged in the shape of a jewellery box, and she knew from personal experience that inside were 4 sliding drawers filled with delicious and very expensive chocolates. These were not the kind of thing you'd normally bring back with a coffee to go. You shouldn't have bought these for me, Rosa said. Why? Does Major Raven not allow you to accept gifts of sweets and chocolates? Do you need your royal taste tester to try them first? Lex joked. Very funny. I think after the alley incident, Raven considers you part of the Keep Rosa out of trouble team. No, I know how expensive these are. You didn't have to do that for me. I know I didn't, but I did. So eat and enjoy them. Rosa clasped the box to her chest and said, Only if you share one with me. I don't eat sugar, you know that. I can't remember the last time I ate any sweets or chocolate bar. Rosa had an intense craving to play with Lex. She sauntered over and placed the chocolates on her desk. Oh, come on, Miss King. You can't be so puritanical all the time. She ran a fingernail slowly along Lex's tie. Sometimes you've just got to give in to pleasure. Lex immediately stiffened and her jaw visibly tightened. What do you want from me, princess? Kiss me and make love to me on your desk, she thought, but said, Taste the chocolate with me. Come on, break one little rule. For me? I might as well. I break all sorts of rules when it comes to you, Lex sighed. Rosa felt like she had won some sort of victory. She quickly opened the first drawer in the box and took out 2 squares of tasting chocolate wrapped in foil. Now, to appreciate the fabulousness of chocolate, you have to taste it like a fine wine, slowly and with consideration. I don't like slowly, Lex said with a low tone that surprised and excited Rosa. She had a sudden flash in her mind of Lex lifting her onto the desk and pushing past her underwear and inside her fast and without preamble. You can't take something special like this fast. Watch me. Lex shifted her position on the desk and loosened her tie as Rosa's teasing began to make heat spread throughout her body. What she had thought would be a simple little gift had only served to amplify the attraction between them. She watched Rosa slowly open the foil to reveal a dark chocolate. You have to use all your senses to achieve the most pleasure. First, you smell. Rosa brought the chocolate to her nose, closed her eyes and inhaled. Each chocolate has a different aroma. Fruity, spicy. This one is deep and spicy. Lex's breathing rate increased, and she couldn't take her eyes from Rosa as she experienced what was clearly unadulterated pleasure. Rosa opened her eyes to meet Lex's and said, The next sense is sound. Rosa broke the chocolate square in half. A good chocolate will have a good snap. Did you hear it? Lex nodded, unable to speak and caught in Rosa's haze of seduction. Then there's touch. Rub the chocolate between your thumb and forefinger and it should start to melt slowly. Rosa took Lex's hand and placed her fingers on top of hers so she could feel Rosa's fingers rubbing the chocolate. But it wasn't chocolate Lex was imagining rubbing. Lex had not experienced such an erotic scene in her life. She wanted Rosa and wanted her now. Eat it, Lex blurted out. She couldn't wait for the payoff of watching Rosa enjoy the chocolate. The anticipation was killing her. She was so aroused that she felt the hunger tingle in her stomach, a feeling she hadn't had to control in a very long time. Patience. You can't just eat it. It needs to be savoured, Rosa replied. Lex pulled her hand back and gripped the desk in desperation, in an effort to stop herself from grasping Rosa and kissing her. Rosa held her gaze, drawing out the moment as long as possible before saying, Now, the best bit. Lex didn't breathe. She couldn't breathe. The anticipation was killing her, and all to watch Rosa eat one piece of chocolate. It would have sounded ridiculous to her under any other circumstances, but in this sensual, passion-filled fog that hung between them, that piece of chocolate going between Rosa's lips was her sole focus. You place a square under your tongue and let it melt, slowly. Rosa took a square and popped it under her tongue. Lex groaned in frustration and finally losing control grasped Rosa's hips and turned her against the desk. Rosa's eyes went wide with surprise and Lex took the second square from her hand and popped it into her own mouth and started to chew immediately. She couldn't stop herself from wanting to taste what Rosa did straight away. Rosa hummed in pleasure. Oh God, thought Lex. She hadn't wanted someone so much in a long, long time. The hungry feeling was low in her stomach and growing stronger with each passing second. It tastes good, doesn't it? Rosa asked in a breathy voice. Yes. Lex was in a kind of turmoil. She felt out of control. Her needs were taking control and she couldn't afford to let that happen. Get out. Take a breath. I need to take a few minutes. Enjoy your chocolate. She turned and walked out of the office, never looking back. As she passed her PA, she said, I'll be upstairs, Conrad. I won't be long. Jenny Frame, Royal Rebel.
This was an episode of Book Clips. Check out the show notes for more on this book. And it would be great if you would rate the show and subscribe to the Lesbian Talk Show podcast channel for more woman-centered content. If you are an author of lesbian fiction, then send us your reading. You can find out how on the lesbiantalkshow.com/reading.